Today, we're walking through Crux. This fixture has been in our catalog for over 10 years. That's not an accident. Crux keeps getting reordered year after year by the same rental houses and event companies who bought it the first time. They don't replace it, they expand with it. In this video, we're walking through the 4 control configurations and the menu behaviors. You're looking at a fixture that has been field tested and trusted across thousands of events. Some of the workflows are very specific. We're gonna walk through all of them clearly so you know exactly how to get the most out of your Crux. Included in the box, you get the Crux unit itself, a power cable, a 3-pin DMX cable, and an IR remote. This remote is not an afterthought. We're going to spend real time on it in just a minute. The full manual and quick start guide are on our website at rashaprofessional.com. Crux is compact, small enough to fit inside most truss profiles. This luminaire's housing is aluminum built. It holds up through repeated event deployments and handles the kind of weekly setup and tear down a busy rental house puts it through. On the back of the panel, you got 4 control buttons: menu, up, down, enter, and the LED display. Right next to the buttons, the wireless signal switch. That physical toggle is how you tell the fixture whether it's running wireless or wire systems. We'll come back to that in a second. On the same panel, you'll find the DMX in and through ports for wired runs. Also, a charge port at the bottom. The battery indicator light lives on the housing and it tells you exactly where you are on charge before you head into a load-in. On the yoke arm, you'll find 3 M12 mounting holes. These mounting holes are built into a rotatable bracket. Crux is a fixture you can hang, stand, or tilt to whatever angle the venue needs. In the front of this fixture, you'll find 9 LED emitters, each one running 6 color channels: red, green, blue, amber, white, and UV. Also on the front panel, the IR sensor. That's the receiver for the remote. It needs a clear line of sight to read the signal. So keep that in mind when you're positioning your units in the room. We'll come back to this in the remote section. The Crux throws a 25-degree beam. Wide, even, flat coverage right up the wall. That's solid output for an uplight in a ballroom, a venue corridor, or across the stage floor. The 6-color red, green, blue, amber, white, ultraviolet array is what separates this light from a basic red, green, and blue uplight. The amber channel produces a warm color, saturated tones that red, green, and blue lights can't replicate. The white channel produces a clean, neutral wash, and the ultraviolet channel creates a real black light effect. The blend of all 6 channels creates a smooth, vibrant color mixing experience that is rich in pastels, that holds across the full color range. This luminaire comes with 32 preset colors, plus 5 custom color slots for you to recall at any given moment. Crux's beam covers surfaces evenly. No hot spot in the center, no drop-off at the edges. That's what you want when you're uplighting fabric, brick, or a wedding tent wall. Let's walk through the full menu so you know exactly where everything lives. Press the menu to enter. Press up and down to scroll. Press enter to select, and press menu again to go back. Here's every option in order. ADDR, DMX address. Set this when you're running wired DMX control. CHND, DMX channel mode. You can either set this on 7 channels or 12 channels. We'll cover both on the DMX section. SLND, signal and linking mode. This is the area of the menu where you can either set the fixture as slave or master, or even enable IR remote control. SHND. This is where your custom shows and your custom color programs live. This is your standalone content layer. And your options are: color, 38 static preset colors, select one, and it will hold. Fade, automatic color recycling. This comes with 3 different speeds. Flash, this is a strobe with an adjustable rate. Auto, 9 built-in light show sequences. SOUN, sound sensitivity, 6 levels. The fixture reacts to the room. CUST, custom colors. 5 slots, CC1 through CC5, are designed for color values that you've programmed yourself. DINN, dimmer curves. BLND, blackout. Depending on configuration, this either cuts output to black or holds the current light output in place. This is the equivalent of a DMX fail setting. LED, turns the LED display on or off. Useful for events where you don't want the display to be visible on a floor unit. DISP, inverts the display orientation. This is very helpful when the fixture is mounted upside down. Test, this is test mode. Cycles through all the colors to verify the fixture is working correctly. FHRS, fixture hours. Shows total runtime. VER, firmware version. REST, factory reset. Wipes all settings back to default. That's the entire full menu. Everything the fixture does lives in one of these options. Let's talk about the IR remote. Before anything else, the remote only works if click is enabled in the menu. Go to SLND, scroll to click, and then press enter, and make sure it's set to on. If click is off, the remote does nothing, and the fixture will not respond. This is the most common reason the remote seems like it is not working. Once click is on, the remote gives you direct access to colors, program selection, fade speed, and strobe. No console, no addressing, no laptop. Point it at the IR sensor at the top of the panel, and go. It's a legitimate control path for anyone who doesn't need a full DMX program. The remote reads line of sight to the IR sensor in the front of the fixture. In practice, that's typically between 10 and 20 feet, depending on the environment. If the units are on the floor pointing up, angle the remote above and toward the front panel where your sensor sits. Works super clean once you know the geometry. Before we walk through the 4 control configurations, there's one behavior you need to know about so it doesn't catch you off guard during an event. After you configure any setting in the menu, DMX mode, address, slave, master, anything at all, this fixture will show standby on the display. This is completely normal. It's not a malfunction. The menu has a built-in timeout. Once you finish programming and exit, the fixture waits before going live. This is an intentional design. This prevents the fixture from flashing output directly at your face while you're in the middle of setting up. The fastest way to bring the fixture live after configuration is a power cycle. Turn it off, turn it back on. It comes up immediately in whatever mode you just set. No waiting, no timeout. If you don't power cycle and just wait, the fixture will connect on its own within 30 to 60 seconds. But the power cycle is a cleaner and faster alternative, especially when you're running a full rig and need everything live at the same time. This is a very healthy habit to get into. Configure all your units, then power cycle the full rig at once, and everything comes up together, ready to go. This is the first control configuration, Wire DMX. This takes you from the console to the fixture via DMX cable. Turn the signal switch on the back of the panel to off. This is gonna tell every unit to listen to the cable instead of the wireless signal. Reset every single fixture before you address anything. Power on, press menu until you reach REST, press enter, confirm yes, and repeat on every single unit. Set your DMX mode. Most console operators will run this fixture on a 12-channel mode. Set your address in this fixture. Then navigate to SLND and select Slave on every unit. Press enter. Connect the DMX cable to the import. This step is not optional. Every fixture in a wired DMX rig must be set to slave or it will not respond to the console. If a unit is not responding, that is the very first thing to check. Run your cable from the console output to the first unit's input. Continue the daisy chain from unit to unit by connecting your DMX cable to the corresponding in and out ports. Now your console drives the full chain. This is the second configuration, wired master slave. This is for running internal programs across multiple units without a DMX controller. This is a very important distinction before we set this up. WireMaster Slave carries internal program data only. It does not carry console DMX. If you connect a console to the master unit and expect the slaves to follow the console cues through this configuration, this will not work. This is specifically for the built-in color programs, fade sequences, and auto shows. First things first, reset all units. Same process as before. Set one unit as the master. Navigate to SLND. Select NAST. Then press enter. This unit is now broadcasting its internal programming to the entire chain. Set all remaining units to slave. Navigate to SLND. Select SLAV. Then press enter. Connect the DMX cable from the master's out port to the first slave's in port. From there, simply daisy chain. Program your look from the master's SHND menu. You can control color, fade, flash, auto, or costume. Every slave unit in the chain will follow. No DMX controller required, no wireless required, just cable, master and slaves running the same internal look. This is the third configuration. Wireless DMX from a console. This is how you run full DMX programming with no cables to the fixtures. For this to work, you will need an external 2.4 GHz wireless DMX transmitter connected to your DMX controller's DMX output. Crux does not act as a transmitter in this workflow. The transmitter lives on the DMX controller side and broadcasts the DMX signal wirelessly to the fixtures. Flip the signal switch on every single Crux unit. This opens the wireless channel. Now, reset all units. Set your DMX mode to match your console patch. Navigate to SLND and select SLAV on every unit. Now press enter. No cable goes into the port. This fixture is now listening wirelessly for the transmitter signal. Every unit must be set to slave. Same rules apply as the wire setup. If a unit is not responding to the console, slave is the first thing to check. Your DMX controller drives the full rig through the external transmitter. Wireless range is dependent on your environment. Ballroom and hotel spaces with heavy 2.4 GHz traffic will reduce it. Test the space before the event if you're running a critical show. This is the fourth configuration. Wireless master slave for internal programming. No DMX controllers, no cables, a true wireless rig. Same important distinction as the wired master slave mode. This carries internal program data only, not DMX controller signals. One unit will broadcast its internal program wirelessly and the rest units will follow. It does not work as a wireless DMX path from a DMX controller. First things first, master reset all your units. Flip the signal switch to on every single fixture. Set one unit as the master. Navigate to SLND. Select NAST. Then press enter. This unit is now broadcasting wirelessly. Set all remaining units to slave. Navigate to SLND. Select SLAV. And now press enter. No cable. This luminaire is now listening wirelessly for the master signal. If a unit is not following, check and make sure the slave mode is active first. Important note for this workflow to work out properly. You must set all the fixtures, both master and the slave, to the same color. This tells all the fixtures that they're working inside the same network. Program your look from the master's SHND menu. In this menu, you can control the color, fade, flash, auto, sound, or any of your custom presets. Every single slave unit in this rig will follow. Wireless range is environment dependent. Test the space before the event. No console, no cables. Battery power, wireless sync. A true wireless system. A nice and clean room from setup to the moment the first guest walks in. Before we close out, Let's talk about the two setups you're going to use the most. The first is a controller through wireless DMX transmitter. Your lighting console feeds DMX to an external 2.4 GHz wireless transmitter, and every Crux in the rig is set to slave, picking up that signal. No cables to any of the fixtures. Your console drives the full rig wirelessly. This is the perfect setup for production companies running program console shows. The second most popular rig is the one with an IR remote to a master Crux sending signal to a rig of slave units. One Crux set to master, the rest of them set to slave. Point the remote at the master, change the color or program, and every slave unit follows. This is the kind of rig you're very likely to encounter from a venue owner or a coordinator. It's fast, it's simple, and it doesn't require a DMX controller. Two things to keep in mind for that second setup. First, keep the master unit close to the operator. The IR remote reads to the master, not to every fixture in the room. If your master is buried in a corner 60 feet away, you're working against yourself. Stage the master where the person running the room can reach it easily. Always plug your master unit to power. The master is doing the work of broadcasting to every single slave unit in the rig. Running it on battery while the slaves are also on battery is fine for short events, but for longer events, keep the master on wired power. It protects your broadcast signal and extends the battery life across the full rig. That's the Crux. 4 control configurations in one fixture. Wired DMX, wired master slave, wireless DMX, and wireless master slave. Run it the way your event actually needs it. Built for production companies and rental houses behind premier events, where every detail has to be perfect before the first guest walks in. You can find Crux in your local dealer at RussiaProfessional.com.